Hey friends, and welcome back to a top 5 in 5 quick lists for your tea break fix, where I give you my top 5 opinion of a subject in the time it takes just to make a great British cup of tea. And in today's episode we're dealing with iconic strats. Okay, first up at number 5 is perhaps the most famous beaten up relic strat, Stevie Ray Vaughan's number 1, also known as his first wife. Stevie Ray Vaughan played a number of Fender Strats throughout his career, one of which was this 1963 body and late 1962 rosewood curved fingerboard neck, and became the most famous battered Strat in rock history. The guitar was given to him by the owner of Ray Henning's Heart of Texas Music Shop in Austin, Texas, 1973. Vaughan used the guitar on all 5 studio albums and on Family Style. The original neck had a fairly thick D-shaped profile. It was destroyed when a piece of stage rigging fell on it. After Vaughan's death, the original neck was reinstalled on number 1, and both are now in the possession of his brother Jimmy Vaughan. Number 4 was always a dead cert for my list, even before my recent copycat of it. It is of course Clapton's Blackie. In 1970, Clapton switched from Gibsons to Fenders, largely due to the influence of Jimi Hendrix and Blind Faith bandmate Steve Winwood. Clapton bought 6 1950s Strats in Show Bud Guitars, Nashville, Tennessee, and after giving one each to George Harrison, Pete Townshend and Steve Winwood, he took the best parts of the remaining 3 to Nashville luthier Ted Newman-Jones, who assembled Blackie, so named for its black finish. Clapton first played Blackie live on the 13th of January 73 at the Rainbow concert and would play it for many years on and off stage. In 1985 it was retired due to issues with the neck. Blackie was also brought out on stage for one last time during the Royal Albert Hall shows in 1991. In 2004, Blackie was sold to Guitar Center for $850,000 at Christie's auction to support the Crossroads Center, a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center founded by Clapton. Number 3 may be a surprise for some. It's Hank Marvin's Red Strat. No list of iconic Strats would be complete in my opinion without Hank's Fiesta Red Strat with maple fingerboard and gold-plated fittings. Hank was the UK's very first guitar hero, and the Strat was the first example of Leo Fender's masterpiece ever to enter the UK. Cliff Richard wanted to buy Hank a good guitar, and seeing Buddy Holly playing a Strat was ample credence, and the axe was duly purchased direct from the factory, as there was an embargo in place at the time from the end of World War II. It made its first appearance in the spring of 1959. Amazingly, Hank does not still have the original. It was lent to the Shadow's Bruce Welch, who has kept it. However, the pair have made a pact in which whoever lives the longest gets to keep it. Obviously, Fiesta Red Strats remain Hank's tool in trade, and to this day is a large part of his and the Shadow's distinctive sound. The runner-up in my list may also be a surprise for most of you who may be expecting this guitar to top the list. However, at number 2 is Jimi Hendrix Woodstock White Strat. Yes, this was the guitar Jimmy played his now legendary rendition of the Star Spangled Banner on, filmed in all its glory during the 1969 event held at the 600-acre dairy farm near White Lake, Bethel, New York. This was a standard Strat with a few modifications. The nut had been switched around in its slot to accommodate Jimmy's upside-down stringing method, and it had a separate maple fingerboard, something Fender did for a short time in the late 60s. Jimmy's guitar was initially kept by fellow band member drummer Mitch Mitchell after Jimmy's death in 1970. The guitar sold at Sotheby's for £198,000, a record in 1990. Since then, the Woodstock Strat has changed hands again. Today it sits in the EMP Museum in Seattle, Hendrix's birthplace. Despite being an Englishman, few of my fellow countrymen didn't quite make this list, but their Stratocasters are worthy of mention, including Dave Gilmour's Black Strat and the White Strats of Ritchie Blackmore and Jeff Beck, all of which are iconic, along with several played by the late great Gary Moore. Further afield, Malmsteen of course has literally hundreds of Strats, and who can forget the original Frankenstrat electrified by Eddie Van Halen. But for me, they don't quite make the list. What Strats would you have on this list? Have I missed any really obvious one? Let me know in the comments below. Finally, we get to number 1, which can only be the 2 rather than 3-tone sunburst made famous by the original pioneer of the Stratocaster, Buddy Holly. Holly got his first Strat in 1955 at Adair Music in his hometown of Lubbock, Texas, after his older brother Larry loaned him the money. It was an ash body, quarter saw maple neck, and had nitrocellulose lacquer finish. Buddy had 2 Strats stolen during his brief career. The first was this original late 1954, early 55 model. He played this guitar on early hits such as That'll Be the Day and Peggy Sue. The guitar was stolen from a tour bus in Michigan in the fall of 1957. A 57 Strat was then purchased in Detroit as a replacement, which he needed for a show. The replacement is the guitar that you see in pictures with the pickup covers worn away. Unfortunately, it too was stolen during April of 58 from the band's station wagon while they ate at a restaurant in St. Louis, Missouri. For me, Buddy's guitar is always the first thing I think of as definitive of the electric guitar. Almost every player of note I can think of has at some time or another played a sunburst Strat. It's the ultimate icon image of the Fender Strat. Remember, it's just my list. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and I really hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, I'll be back with more content really soon. In the meantime, as always, my good friends, you take good care.